Hi, kindergarten. It's Mrs. Soccio, your librarian, and I would like to read to you one of my favorite books, The Legend of Spookley The Square Pumpkin. Now, some of you guys might have even seen the TV show of Spookley on TV, but it's one of my favorite stories, and I'd love to share it with you. The author's name is Joe Troiano, and the illustrator, the person who writes the pictures, her name is Susan Benton. Spookley The Square Pumpkin. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin had hatched. Spooky wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Because what shape is Spookley? Yes, that's right, he's a square. And usually pumpkins are oval or round. Spookley was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley wasn't round. He was square. While the round pumpkins had fun, rolling along, poor Spookley sat there, shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might. He couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is a night until they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but sometimes it's better to be square. I wonder what happened. Halloween was just a day away when the mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines. Then off they'd go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, banging. What a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, so glad that he was square that night. Now, why do you think he was glad to be square? That's right, because he had edges and he didn't roll away like the other round pumpkins. I wonder what will happen next. Oh dear, that doesn't look so good for these pumpkins, does it? Suddenly the fence gave away. 3 pumpkins rolled down into the bay. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered. He tottered. He tottered, tipped, and tried, and finally flipped on his side. Again he tipped, and then he flopped, and then he flipped, and then he stopped right in the hole where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the Square Pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack, and then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Then one by one a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. In the morning, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and he checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and he laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged across the broken fence. The shell was bruised, its stem was too, but brave little Spookley, sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew of all the seeds he had ever sown. Spookley's was the most special that had ever grown. And the next year, when it was time to sow, which is another word for planting seeds, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning, about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds. And most of them were, that's right, square. But some were cubes and some were rectangle. Some were flat and some were triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety make. Now, every Halloween, every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from near and far to see the wonders that grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. They pick a pumpkin that's round or triangular or perfectly square. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday you'll tell someone too, and they'll tell someone who'll tell another, and maybe one day we will all discover that you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. The end. So kindergarten, you'll be doing something fun with Spookley with me in the library when you come to see me, and also with Mrs. Kim Pan. So we'll be talking about Spookley and his friends a lot. So I'll see you soon. Bye.